Oh, do we have an announcement to make later? We have such a good announcement starting in
It's actually
September.
really exciting.
Yes.
September? Okay,
Yeah.
next month, right?
Start next month.
'Cause it's August now.
It's
I'm
August.
So smart.
You know, at the time of recording this, today's the 13th, right?
Sure. We'll go with that. Look at my computer.
Yeah, 13th. I'm 4 days away from being 36.
Oh my God, you old man.
I'm old.
Oh, shut it.
I'm
not.
old. My bones are brittle.
That's okay. I'm not going past 30. I'm 31, and I'm staying there. I'm staying at 30, I mean.
Okay, Eric Lee.
Erica Lee. Thank you
Erica
very much.
Lee. We have a friend
That's
named
crazy,
Eric.
Though. One letter.
Yeah, we have a friend named Eric who says he's 29 every year, but he's older than I am. I know his real age. But I won't, Eric, if you're listening, I won't. If you're one of the two people listening, I won't say your real age.
Whatever makes you feel better, Eric. It's okay.
Yes.
I totally agree.
My name is Travis, and I am a drag queen who secretly dresses as a drag king.
Hey, and my name is Erica, and I'm actually a drag king that dresses like a drag queen.
We didn't plan that at all. We didn't plan that at all.
I didn't mess it up.
No,
I'm
you
so
didn't.
Excited.
But still, we didn't plan that at all. Welcome to He Said, She Said. But anyway, God, I was talking about your. See, we had actually started recording and we lost everything.
We're losers. It's okay.
So we just decided, screw it. We'll hit the record button again. I was talking about your colored bacon on your door because we're in Erica's room.
It's actually kind of a hippie room, to be honest. Sponge paint with
handprints.
That's
That's kind of creepy, though.
It is.
It's kind of creepy.
It's kind of busy. And then this was actually all done on the doors by my sister and her friends. Besides the little footprints, I put those on when I painted the room.
So she's the one that drew the Batman and Spider-Man beating the crap out of Joker.
It's the worst drawing ever.
It is.
But yeah, it was her and all her friends. Like, see that door over there has all her friends' signatures on it.
Oh, more colored bacon.
Yeah, colored bacon.
Ducky flags.
I'm surprised they haven't came out with like flavored bacon.
That
would be great.
Like bacon flavored like cheese.
They do have cheese with bacon in it.
Okay, like bacon flavored like cotton candy. Yeah, that would be gross.
Ew.
Okay, here's the thing. I like bacon, but I'm not obsessive of it as I'm supposed to be as quote unquote a man or a human or an American, whatever. You know, bacon's cool. I like bacon every once in a while. I couldn't do it every day. I could not do it every day.
No, it's a salty thing to eat anyway.
We know about salty things.
I do not. Not at all.
You closet whore.
Yeah, whatever. I'm in denial, you know, so it's all good.
You're in denial.
Not
But
the river.
anyway. I'm also trying to find other stuff on your doors. Chelsea. Who's Chelsea?
I have no freaking clue. This was done like when Ashley was 13 or so.
Erica's hot.
Yeah, see, this says Jenny on top of it, so I think I may have like put my name in there. I like the "you rock my." It says socks off, but I read it as sex. You rock my sex off.
What?
That's
what would that mean? You rock my.
No,
you rock my sex off. Like what?
You're just rocking in the bedroom, dude.
Sure.
That's all it means.
He rocked my pussy off.
I don't know what ducky flags mean. And then there's just a random word chicken.
Lake
surrounded
rocks.
by nice little dogs.
No, that's Luke. Luke rocks?
It's supposed to say Luke rocks.
It looks like Lake rocks.
The lake can rock too. Don't be hating on the lake.
No. We apologize to our Japanese friends because we don't want their lake or ocean to rock. We saw what happened last time.
What the fuck are you talking about?
The earthquake tsunami thing.
Oh, okay. Well,
did you know that nuclear power plant is still leaking?
We got turkey.
Oh, turkey?
There's turkey right there, but under Ashley's name, that's that way. And there's chicken. Where's beef? I don't see beef anywhere. I need to write beef on there. It's left out.
You do.
Damn.
And pork.
Oh my god.
Pork is left
They're
out.
so discriminatory. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Discriminating against meat. All meat matter.
And bacon wasn't left out, though, so I guess that's pork, because we have colored bacon.
Yeah, we do have colored bacon.
Pork was not left out. It's just beef. And
well, BFFLD? Beefold?
Best? I don't know what that means. Best friends forever.
Love Ducky. You know what I love about this podcast? This podcast, I listen to a lot of podcasts where they actually have studios and they don't leave their studio to do a podcast. They do all their episodes, and that's fine. I'm not bashing on them. I love those kind of podcasts. But I love what we do, too, because we can do this in a bedroom. We could do this in a living room. We could do this walking somewhere. We can do this driving somewhere. We can do this on location.
And the great thing is, because our environment can change, so does our conversation, and it affects how crazy we are sometimes.
And here's another thing. Because we mentioned in our previous podcast before, right? Mm-hmm. When we did The Unusual Suspects, that was such a production.
Yeah.
That was writing a format, figuring out what we're going to talk about, figuring out who's going to be there, figuring out where, we're going to set the next studio up sometimes, because we actually did have a studio and that kind of fell through.
We had mics in certain programs and, setups and stuff. But...
And then TLE was kind of the same thing when we had that. And that was short-lived. I don't think I want to go back to that because I'm not good at talking about serious stuff. Because I usually say stuff, when I talk about serious stuff, I mean, I can write about serious stuff. I'm a hell of a writer. But if I verbalize what I'm going to say, I usually say the wrong stuff. And then I wind up apologizing afterwards. And so it's kind of like, at least when I'm writing, I can think about what I'm writing as I'm writing it. But when I'm saying it, it just flies out of the mouth.
Well, and I like this because there's so much serious shit in the world right now anyway. I just want to fucking laugh, let loose, and forget.
So basically, what I'm saying is whatever you hear on this podcast is basically off the top of our heads. There is no preparation in these podcasts at all.
Sometimes it's probably not a good thing, but most of the time it's very, very funny. So that's what brought us here.
But the whole idea of this podcast was our car trips, the crazy conversations we would have.
I think most of it should be held in our car trips, to be honest, because
some should be. I will set up some recordings in the car while we're not. Well, at least you won't know. At least I'll know. I better know if I'm setting it up. That would be bad. I didn't know I recorded that. You set it up. Where's my mind?
What are you smoking? Why aren't you sharing?
No, more edibles. I don't think I could smoke it. I've never smoked anything.
I was having a conversation with this girl. I think I might want to invite her to one of our get-togethers at Justin's for our group. But she's so freaking funny, and we were talking about how, because you said about edibles and stuff.
Yeah.
KJ, one of our favorite shows to watch. One of my favorite movies to watch is The Good Dinosaur. Have you ever heard of that movie?
No.
It's a cartoon, and it's a dinosaur movie.
I would imagine.
It's very most of it's kid friendly, but there's this Ellen DeGeneres actually did a segment on her show about how kids shows are not always like adults get a lot of stuff that kids don't.
Mm-hmm.
SpongeBob is a great example of that.
Oh my god!
But this show, we watch it and there's this part where it's a little human. It's like a little caveman human. He's so adorable. I love him. He's my favorite part of the movie. But they're lost and they come across these berries that went bad. Yeah. And they eat them and they get high as shit off of them. And they're seeing shit. Uh-oh. And KG doesn't understand it. And I'm like, I want some of them fucking berries. But it just kind of... So the edibles that you mentioned, I'm like, I I've never done mushrooms, but I would love to or something like that.
I've
I'd like to try
I've never smoked anything.
Have.
My friend Miguel wants to get me high, but I told him I don't want to smoke, but I would do edibles.
What'd you do?
What would I do?
Yeah.
Whatever, whatever they brought, because he's a veteran and he does a lot of stuff for people with PTSD who are veterans, and he is a, I don't want to say spokesperson. What am I thinking about? What am I thinking? The word I'm looking for.
Representative? I don't
know. Well, for the lack of a better term, representative.
That's all I can
think of. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, it's funny watching me lose my mind. It's funny watching me lose my mind.
It's pretty comical.
Anyway,
he said that with the best look.
Right. He founded this company called Green for Vets, basically, allowing veterans to smoke weed and get weed legalized, especially for PTSD patients. And so I'm on board with it. I don't smoke weed. I don't like the smell of it. But hey, if you do, go for it. Just don't do it around me because I'll gag.
Weed has changed, man, since back in the day when I used to smoke all the time.
Yeah.
I could handle a lot of it.
Yeah.
And I was just fine. It was like, I don't know if it's because I got older and I'm more anxiety driven now and like panic a lot more.
Yeah.
Sober, let alone stoned. But
right.
The shit that they have nowadays, like, is so strong. And it's actually almost dangerous for me to smoke it because not only am I, like, panic driven when I do it around people, like, because I'm always thinking, oh, they're going to know, or whatever, and I'm going to act stupid or something. But, like, you'd been to one of the parties that someone shared some shit with, and you had to come get me and save me.
Yeah.
Because I was freaking the fuck out, puking my guts out, could not move.
Yeah.
And it was tripping me out, dude. So I don't know. They do shit with weed now that I wouldn't want to do it. Like,
but I told him, he wants me to fly to Atlanta sometime, and I told, because that's where he's based out of. He goes everywhere now. He does art and he acts and he's a model and does all this, but like he lives a life. Like
wow.
He lives a life. I actually bought his first book that he didn't write. It was just a book of his drawings, and I bought it from him. It's limited edition. He only made 10 of them, and I own one.
Very nice.
I'll show you sometime because you'd love those drawings.
Probably.
You'd love those drawings. But I became friends with him through Vine, through that app. As a lot of my friends, I've become.
You do really miss that app, don't you?
I do. Here's the weird thing about Vine. I was so self-conscious because of the way I looked. So I didn't make a lot of Vines. But I enjoyed other content. And that's how I became friends with people like Thor, who lives in Chicago. His ex-boyfriend, Jamie, who lives in Florida. Miguel, Jen Dent, Brandy, and all of them. All of those names I'm dropping on the floor. But,
so do any of those people that were on Vine, like, do they make YouTube videos and stuff now? Or do they
Jen Dent does. Jen Dent does YouTube videos.
I'm a YouTube whore. I love YouTube.
Jen Dent. I think her YouTube is Jen to the Dent, or Jen to the Dent. One of the two. But you just dropped your lighter. But she does some very funny videos. She's a good comedian. I do believe Matt Blackstock. I love that guy to death. He is special, and I'm not talking about his disability. He's autistic, but he's so talented at playing the drums. He's so funny. He's so lovable. I love that guy to death.
That's awesome.
And sometimes I feel bad because I don't talk to him as much as I should. But one time when we were at our first head-to-head this year, that's who called me on my phone through Facebook. That was Matt Blackstock. He was just bored and wanted to know what I was doing.
Sweet.
And those kind of calls, I don't mind. But if I had to I had to abruptly end a project with somebody because they would call me. And I know I'm going on a side note here. That if anybody knows me knows that I could link one part of a conversation to another completely different conversation. But I had to abruptly end a project with somebody who just would not stop calling me on Facebook. People like that who like give me orders and then they call me on Facebook. They don't text me, they don't really message me much. They just call me out of the blue on Facebook, and especially at the wrong times, then they get mad when I don't answer. I have anxiety. I have anxiety issues. Anxiety.
Are you the one drinking or am I? Because
you're the one drinking. I'm sober. Unfortunately.
I just needed to put that out there because I don't understand what's going on right now.
But I had to abruptly end a project to just kind of distance myself from that guy. But anyway, back to my story of Vine. When people like Matt Blackstock call me, or Miguel calls me, or certain people call me on my new friend Zach, who kind of is like a mentor to me, a little bit. Once in a while he'll call me on Facebook, and that I don't mind because those are people that they don't give me orders. They just either want to talk or they want to support me or they want to find out what's going on in my life so that way they can, figure out how they can help me. Those calls I don't mind. But anyway, on Vine, find Jen to the Den and Matt Blackstock. Those are the only two I know of right now.
Do you have any other, I guess, I have certain ones on YouTube that I watch almost religiously. That actually, one of them wrote a book, and it should be getting in here soon, and I'm really excited about it. What's her name? I'll go through the list. I like Tyler Oakley.
Okay.
He has a book that I wanted to get, but I didn't order it.
Tyler Oakley.
Yeah. And then, and he actually is pretty huge. He does other things.
Oh yeah. He does a web show for Ellen.
Yeah, I love it. He gets to like did you see the one with Kelly?
Yeah.
And then probably.
Oh yeah. Kelly Clarkson fan. Trust me. Oh my god. Speaking of Kelly Clarkson.
What?
Some people have, and this is bad for Kelly Clarkson. I know. I'm sorry, but I had to listen to it. She recorded a country record for RCA, a full country album, and they shelved it. Somebody got hold of the demos and released them.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I'm not.
When did that happen?
That was supposed to be her last album for RCA, but this past album was the last album for RCA instead. RCA Nashville decided to shelve it. That's why I like the fact that she is with Atlantic Records now, because they told her, you know what, you want to do a country album, you do a country album. You want to do a soul album, which that's what she's working on now, do it, because we love your material, we love your songwriting, we'll pretty much approve anything. You can sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and record that and put that out there and we'll let you.
She's capable of that. That's why I like her so much. She has so much. She still has room to grow. Mm-hmm. She also can pretty much sing the fucking. I mean, it's a old saying, phone book, and it would be a freaking hit.
Here's the thing that some people don't get about Kelly Clarkson. She can do the rock thing. She proved it. She can do the pop thing. She proved it. She can do the dance thing. She proved it. She can do the R&B soul thing. She proved it. She can do the country thing with the twang, and she proved that too. So, because the song "Tie It Up," that's kind of like a random single, that was supposed to be the lead single off of her country record, but they shelved the whole idea. It's like, But anyway.
Okay. So let me get back to this because I have my YouTube up now. So
okay, YouTube.
Grace Helbig.
Never heard of her.
She's kind of more dry humor. She's awkward.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of love her. She's cute as shit. But her, Mamrie Hart and, I'm trying to find her name.
And then I have some people I'm subscribed to on YouTube.
Hannah Hart.
Hannah Hart.
Those three do videos a lot together. They're kind of BFFs, and they make some pretty good videos.
What
one
kind
of hers is My Drunk Kitchen. She would like, so she's a lesbian.
Okay.
And the book that I actually ordered from her was her story, pretty much, and how she had started out dating guys, and when she realized all of it. It's just that she's not only freaking adorable, I would date her in a heartbeat, but she, her humor is just, she's kind of quirky. She's not really like, I don't know. But I'm a huge fan of them. And then like Superfruit.
Superfruit.
My goal in life is to get a Superfruit t-shirt.
Oh, did you see our friend Mary?
Mary
McMillan? Not dropping names anymore. Still dropping names. I'm sorry, I am sober. I promise you, I'm sober.
God, I don't believe
You're going to be jealous if you don't know the story.
What happened?
Yesterday, she won the karaoke contest at the State Fair.
Uh-huh.
The one that Alice was trying to get us to go to. You know what the prize was? She got to open for and meet Pentatonics. But she actually was the open. She opened for technically for those two that were online too, the duo.
What genre? What do you mean, a duo? Original singer? They were originals?
This is Us duo or something like that.
Sure.
I'm losing my mind again. But they open for Pentatonics. So it's a married husband wife that they used to do videos.
I mean,
kind of like Alex and Sierra. I do too, but I think they've gotten away from their X Factor stuff a lot.
Yeah. I like some of their earlier solo stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't really listened to them recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, is that all the YouTubers you wanted to drop? Okay. I am. I can't wait because I get to meet him and his two buddies in 2 weeks. I am subscribed to Trey Crowder, the liberal redneck. I bought what? If I would have known that, I would have bought you a VIP ticket too. But in 2 weeks, they'll be in St. Louis, and I will be there, and I will sit through all their sets, and I will laugh my ass off, and I will hurt from laughing, and I will take a picture and shake hands with all of them in 2 weeks. I'm also subscribed to The Adventures of Zach and B. The guy's name is Zach Garcia. He's got a little dog. I think he's a pug. These are the pug bulldog. I forgot his name, but it does begin with a B. Anyway, he is your typical Texas Southern draw deep voice jock that happens to be gay.
Okay.
And he just married the love of his life, a guy named Alistair, who is I think he's in the Marines, just joined. And anyway, they just got married, so they're working out the whole living arrangement thing. And I like him. He's cute, but he's like too young for me cute. Kind of like Nick Jonas kind of cute. Like, yeah, I would love to see naked, but it's not like I would do anything.
Like me and Harry Styles, although I would jump his bounce.
Like Niall Horn.
Too young for me, but
like Niall Horn. Just yeah, I would look at a picture of you naked, but that's probably it.
Specification: Niall Horn brunette. Just I wasn't super attracted to him when he was actually in the band and won. Now that he's more brunette,
I think
I'm more attracted to him.
I think X Factor days, first 2 albums, no. But then he started kind of sticking out a little bit.
He started playing his guitar more and being himself.
That's when it was like, okay, Niall, I see you. Niall, I see you, Niall.
I see you.
I see you. Speaking of 1D, apparently, what is that? Strip That Down didn't go #1 because Liam didn't take pictures naked. I don't think Cheryl, his girlfriend, would have let him.
I didn't like the song to begin with. The other one that he has another one out that
With
I like
Zed,
better.
yeah.
I like that
Get
one
Low.
better. The other one I was so disappointed because actually, when I'm the nerd with 1D, so let's go with that.
Yeah.
I rank the guys.
That's a little creepy. That's a little creepy.
But vocally, I always was more impressed with Liam's vocals. Like, especially live and stuff, he'd go with random trills and like in the middle or in between songs, he would just go like start randomly singing, and like he has the talent. That song that he came out with, though, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
and then with Quavo then release it with Quavo of Migos, who they're openly homophobic. It was just not a good message.
Yeah.
Although they apologize, they love everybody. Bullshit. Sorry, bullshit.
We're just trying to be politically correct.
Yeah.
But so actually, the solo guys, I've never liked him. He's pretty much irrelevant to me now. I just haven't. I was never attracted to him or liked him. I mean, I liked some of his stuff in the band, but like.
I like Zayn. I like Zayn with short hair, not with long hair. I like the pictures of him when he's not smoking. Because honestly, okay, like I said, if you want to smoke, that's fine. But if you think you look cool with taking a picture with smoke coming out of your face, I'm sorry, you look stupid.
Mine was more of the whole music thing. He pretty much...
He raunched it up.
Well, the thing is, he rode through with the band as long as he could to make a name for himself. He won't perform live. He says he has too much anxiety. What the fuck was the point of leaving the band to go solo when you can't perform live? I don't get it.
He needs to slow down and stop. See a therapist. Get some medication. Get your life in order.
But he had the nerve after he left the band to do all this Twitter drama with against his so-called brothers and be all hot shit, try and break out, and do his own thing and talk all this shit, but then all of a sudden now he's too... I have anxiety. I understand.
Yes.
With performing and everything else. I do. But don't make big statements like what you were doing and trying to be someone and you can't handle it.
That's why usually...
It really makes me mad that he did that and then all of a sudden he can't even perform.
That's why usually, and I don't advocate this for anybody, it just works for me. Because I have anxiety too. I was talking about PTSD earlier. I've been diagnosed with PTSD. Anyway, what works for me was stage fright, because I have horrible stage fright. I can be paralyzed, like cannot move with stage fright. Sometimes for me, to get me to move and get me to feel like, okay, I can do this, I throw back a shot of Jack, And you know what? I understand there are people with problems with alcohol. There are people with problems with drugs and that it's not going to work for, or it works too well for them. That can't do that. I understand that. I just say that because I'm not an alcoholic. I can do it, and it works for me.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, what works for me doesn't necessarily work for everybody else.
Well, and on that note, you remember back in the day, that's all I could only drink sober. That's all. You could
only sing when you drink.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going. And I'm very proud of myself because this year, during the contest, I finally kind of took a step back and cut my limit down, even though I was very scared a lot of the time. Realized how much it was affecting me that I wasn't able to. You can't sing very well when you're as drunk as I was trying to.
Yeah.
And I learned to care more about the music than my fears. And I just decided to overcome them. I'd have only one or two and then go for it. I'm actually proud of myself that I kind of worked through some of those issues, I guess. But
yeah. I guess, okay, there's this big contest we do every year in Decatur. Well, I've done every year for 11 years in Decatur. Well, okay, there was 3 years that I didn't do it, but there's a good reason why I didn't do it for those 3 years. But for a span of 11 years, I've been involved with in Decatur, and starting last year, they started doing teams, so I started bringing Erica into it, and she would always end up on my team. So, but
he loves me.
Yeah, I love you,
and I do something right, so I don't know.
And you're a good strategist, and you sing well, and you know your voice, and you're not afraid to take criticism when needed. You know, you're a good team.
I thrive on criticism, dude.
You're a good team player, and that's why I like
love
having
harmonizing. What can I say?
There are some that aren't good team players that we found out past couple years.
It really puts you to the test. These contests. You have to learn. This would be a good personality or maybe job test. Put you into one of these things.
If you think you could be a manager, try dealing with one of these teams.
Even if you're not the team captain, you still had to, in order to thrive in a team, you had to work as a team, which means communication, directing each other, and actually doing, supporting people as well. And we've learned that there are people who do not know how to support others, do not know how to take direction, are not trustworthy or dependable. I guess that's kind of the word. Trustworthy, dependable are, I think, two separate ones.
No, I would combine them because to be dependable, for me to think that you're dependable, I would have to trust you.
I was thinking more along trustworthy in seeing with them, kind of couldn't trust if they were going to hold their own or practice, but then dependable of showing up to practices.
And see, that's where you and I are different. My whole trusting is, can I trust you to do what I ask? Can I trust you to be there?
I can understand that.
And my thing was dealing with, and yeah, you're included in this, dealing with 5 different personalities, because it's a team of 6, including myself, dealing with 5 different personalities, 5 different egos, 5 different styles, and trying to mesh it all together and make the team work. That, I mean, up until like last year, I didn't have fun at all. I could not, for the life of me, get us all on the same page. I couldn't, because there was always 1 or 2 that would kind of sabotage us.
I was never one of those, by the way, listeners.
You would know. I would have called your name out on this bitch. And then this year, I had fun up until it worked better until the week of the finale, where things just kind of imploded between a couple people, and then we were like, oh, okay, what are we going to do if we don't have this person? What are we going to do if we don't have that person? And luckily they kind of got their acts together toward the end where we needed them.
And just push through.
Although I understand the I guess our common friend, I'm not going to drop her name.
Oh yeah.
I understand her situation, her gripe, and I'm still on board with her gripe. That what happened wasn't cool, but
it was more of a different person's ego that got
but it still kind of was like, So we talked about a lot of shit in this podcast.
We covered a lot of ground.
But
you know what? Announcement soon then.
Yeah.
You just want to finish the thought?
Yeah, let me finish my thought. That's why we crammed so much into this podcast, because we haven't given you a podcast in 2 weeks.
Sorry.
So it's just life happens, and unfortunately deaths happen, and you know the stories. You know. So
stress and being sick and car trouble.
Okay. So announce the time. And of course, anybody who knows me, I can't make an announcement without giving you a backstory. Okay. How far back? Okay, I have a friend. I became friends with him years ago. Okay, this is gonna sound bad. But you know what? We have all the time in the world because we can end when we want to, bitches. So what?
Hell to the yeah.
Or we can end when you just hit the stop button too. I mean,
damn it, they have that power. That means they're not listening anymore.
Okay. Back, God, I want to say it was 2010. We'll go with that. 2010.
Cool. Good year.
No, it was 2009, 2008, somewhere around there. I had a couple of friends who did, like, I don't know if any of you watch professional wrestling, the WWE crap. I shouldn't say crap because I have
actually kind of watched wrestling was the WWE.
I have friends who have worked for the WWE. I've met people who now work for the WWE, so I can't call it crap. I just don't enjoy it now. Okay, let's just get that out there. But anyway, I had a couple of friends who did like a local wrestling promotion, and they called me up and they were like, "Hey, you know, do you want to sing the national anthem at our show in Mount Pulaski, Illinois?" And I was like, "Sure, why not? You know, that's fine." No, they got hold of me on Facebook, I believe. Anyway, so I come out there, and you know, sometimes you have those friends that, when they ask you a favor, you say yeah, and then it's kind of like a fishing effect, like, okay, you bit, so here we go. The ring announcer quit right before the show, so they asked me, they're like, can you sing the anthem and then be the ring announcer? And I'm like, I have no clue what I'm doing, but sure, why not? So, you know, I'm trying to do my prep work, and I couldn't get through all my prep work before the show started. So one of the brothers that I was working for, he just kind of filled in the blanks with what he thought, right? And so I'm doing the show, and as one match is going on, I'm behind the curtain because I get called back behind the curtain by the guy I get to become friends with. And the guy who he manages, who stands like 6'6", weighs like 270 pounds, you know, this big black, you know, like could kill you. And later on, he did get locked up for murder. But I shriveled back because he's like, you know, how much do you have me weighing? And I was like, you know, blah blah blah. And he's like, that's disrespectful to me. But talking about the big black dude. So I correct the stat, and you know, the guy I become friends with, he was like, drink him in. He's big and he's tall and he can kill you. I'm like, got it. I got the message.
All right.
So we finished the show. And I go backstage and I shake the guy's hand that I become friends with, and I'm like, you know, you're an amazing performer. And that's when we became friends. And then I did, and that show, I met a guy named Tyler Black, who is now Seth Rollins in the WWE, by the way. Side note. Another name drop. Yeah, I got to work with him for a little bit. And then I wound up doing a couple shows for another promotion that he was more heavily involved with, and we get past wrestling. And you know, we're still friends, but you know, I'm not doing any wrestling shows anymore, and he's not doing wrestling shows anymore. And then he pops up on Facebook. I think it was Facebook Messenger. Yeah, he pops up on Facebook Messenger one day. He's like, I now have a radio show in St. Louis. I'm on this internet station. I'm gonna have my own show, and it's unfiltered, it's uncensored. Me and this guy named Bubba, we're gonna run down Hollywood. We're gonna do whatever. And I'm like, great, cool. the day before his first episode, he asked me if I could tape the episode. If I could somehow tape it from online and then send it to him so he could hear back, the episode. And I was like, yeah, I could do that. And then my computer froze because JR, basically first episode got botched. And then I started taping more and more episodes, and then basically I became part of the behind the scenes crew, the cast. It just grew. This show grew, and then we became a morning show, and then we grew some more. It had a good following until somebody sabotaged it, but that's neither here nor there of the story. Anyway, and so out of this, two things happened out of this radio show. Number one, I started podcasting. That's where The Unusual Suspects came out of. And then number two, he started a modeling competition show that was web-based. And now he has a huge international following with this show. Leading up to our announcement that, okay, the show is called Local Ambition. It is a St. Louis-based reality modeling competition show. I've done a little work on the show before. Not much to say. I've helped out. I did the graphics I did the opening graphics for the first season, and I shot a few scenes for him during the second season. And then I haven't really helped out since then. But now he's getting ready to come up with. He's getting ready. His name is Kevin Edwards, Mr. Late Night, basically. Is getting ready to put out season 6, which is already filmed. It's already in the can, already edited. He's just waiting to release it. And along this big release, he's adding something new. He is adding. Actually, he wanted to know if we wanted to do a segment on our show, on this show, about his show. And I said yes initially. But then I thought, no, if I was going to do reactions to that show, I want it to be its own show. It deserves to be its own show. Yeah. So, we have another podcast coming out starting in September, and it will be basically the after show of Local Ambition. We'll have more details later of start dates and stuff like that, because I don't have the information in front of me right now. But our show will be called Ambitiously Yours, the companion show. Very nice. We will be. Here's how this is going to work. They're going to premiere the episode on a Sunday, and then we're going to tape our show the following Sunday on that episode. Because if we were to tape and release our show the same day he puts out that episode, they can listen to us and not watch the show for themselves. So we would be giving away spoiler alerts. So to avoid that, we're gonna wait a week, and then we'll premiere our show, and then la-di-da.
And the only reason I got this gig is because I'm just saying.
That's when being a girl is to your advantage.
They don't understand I'm not a normal girl.
You don't understand. There are no normal girls involved with this project. I've met some of the previous girls, and they're not normal. So I imagine.
Well, I'm pretty sure my comments on this show are going to be very unique. So, I'm just saying.
See, here's the thing: you don't watch modeling shows.
Very honest and very different. I'm gonna have a different take, and they're gonna be like, "I didn't even think of that." Wait, where's she coming from?
Right? Who is she to talk shit about me?
Because, girl, you haven't seen me. I'm not even close, but...
Be like, really, queen? I'll bring out my Bianca Del Rio. Really, queen? Really, queen?
Z-snaps are going to be all over this.
Don't play shoulder with me.
Oh, shit. Okay, yeah.
Okay, I think we've talked enough. 45 minutes here.
Hopefully we made up a little bit. Sorry they had to wait a lot for a new update. We will try to get better with that.
We will get better. It's not a try. We will get better.
Okay.
I
Stand correct.
I am Travis. I realize that I'll have to change back to the hat when we do these shows because if I'm still associated with late night, that's how they know me.
Are you sure you're not a Gemini? You have multiple alter egos going on here.
In high school, my nickname was Travel. Just because my first 4 letters are TRAV.
Well, your middle name's Lee, so
Traveling.
The first letter of your middle name, and it changed the E instead to an I. Travel. TRAVIL.
That's not how you spell travel.
But you can say it that way, and it makes sense with your initials.
It only makes sense if you're Erica. I'm Travis.
I am drunk. And Erica.
And we'll be back next week. Definitely.
Yes, I
definitely.
Promise.
Next week,
I don't
episode
make
5.
Promises, but I'm promising. Next week we will be there.
I don't make promises. I just make promises. Okay, I'm hitting the stop button now. Good night. Bye.